I know how eager you are to hear from us about many topics, and today we're going to address some of them. So grab your favorite drink, and let's dive right in. I want to waste no time and start with what's top of mind for many of you, server consolidations.
Yes.
Yes, they're coming. And I want
Careful,
to be
though.
completely transparent about what this means for our community. Our goal with server consolidations is twofold. First, it's to ensure we maintain the competitive landscape within servers. And second, we want to widen the pool of people that can play
Nice
together
B-roll,
on
nice
each
B-roll.
server.
Yeah.
The approach to server consolidations will be a multi-step process that includes merging auction houses between servers, offering a free server transfer period, which includes removing the restriction of transfers between early access and launch servers, and then finally, the consolidation of existing servers. I want to emphasize here that any servers impacted will be consolidated into new servers, rather than merging one server into another already existing server.
Wait, what?
I know you probably have many questions. Rather than merging one server, the consolidation of existing servers. I want to emphasize here that any servers impacted will be consolidated into new servers, rather than merging one server.
Tico's to Scott Lane for TNL. He's under a lot of pressure to get things right now. The game's launched very well, good numbers, held numbers for a good time. The pressure is on now to make shit right for the current player base, and if the current player base is happy, then they can start, the introduction of new players will start to happen organically. If they fuck this up now, which I think they're under a lot of pressure to get this right, then it's fucking fucked for a while. But what they're saying about the servers is instead of like your server merging into my server, both mine and your server will merge into a brand new server. And that could be anything from EA to launch.
To another already existing server. I know you probably have many questions about what happens during consolidation, which servers will be affected, and plenty more. So to address this properly, we'll be releasing a comprehensive article later this week that will outline all the details, steps we're taking, and planned dates, so you'll know exactly what to expect. Now, I've seen a lot of discussion from players wondering what we've been working on over the last couple of months. Well, all of us at AGS and NCSoft have been focused on making fundamental improvements to Throne and Liberty as we get ready for Talandre's launch, our upcoming free expansion. I want to share some of those details now. First, let's talk about combat improvements, which is something I've mentioned before, but can now share more specifics. We're making foundational changes to our combat mechanics with the focus on improving fluidity and intuitive feel. So what does this mean in practice? Here are some of our planned changes.
This was some of the discussions we had at the start. No matter how good the game is, when you play the game at the start, the gameplay and the feeling of it is so alien compared to what we've most played before. So I remember we were making videos about how you have to spend like an hour making your settings and sorting out your settings and everything, just to make sure everything's ready, because then your game will feel smooth. Most people won't be going through that, so people will be fucking quitting left, right, and centre. Which is to make a hyper boost like BDO. And they made a hyper boost on KR. The issue with hyper boost servers is you're putting a band-aid, a bandage, a plaster in English, a fucking plaster, not a fucking band-aid, a plaster over a shit system, right? The reason a hyper boost is needed is because the system is shit in the first place. My name is Danneh, yeah. Hello.
Players will now maintain their regular movement speed while attacking. We're eliminating the functionality that forces your character to face your target when attacking, and introducing line-of-sight requirements to attack players and monsters. Movement controls will now be consistent both in and out of combat. Did anyone say backpedal? We're increasing base melee attack range and changing from camera-based to character-based relative movement. Additionally, we're making core changes to our targeting system, so you can expect targeting to feel more natural and intuitive with tab targeting.
I don't know where Danneh came from. It was when we were growing up. It was my name. It was Danny, Robbie, Joshy, Philly, Luddy. There was a few others. We all just put EH at the end of our name. It's fucking stupid. It's got nothing. It means nothing.
And more responsive and precise.
What's the backpedaling about?
These changes are going through multiple rounds of extensive testing to ensure we deliver the highest quality combat experience we can. We're targeting for all of these combat changes to arrive with Talondre. The next major improvement I want to discuss is open world PvP. One of Throne of Liberty's core elements is epic scale open world PvP. While this vision has worked well with our castle sieges, the PvP community is having a blast there. We've noticed something interesting, and that's the incredibly positive reception to our guild versus guild content.
Yeah.
That's also coupled with concerns about how alliances and mega alliances are continuing to impact the overall PvP experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in an effort to lean into guild versus guild content and make their distribution of rewards more fair, we will be making major changes to how field bosses work.
Again.
Bosses will transition from an open world PvP format to a guild versus guild format.
What?
Similar to what you may have experienced in inter-server Riftstone battles.
What?
2 guilds will be matched 1 versus 1 in a boss fight.
What?
As Liberty continues to evolve, we want to adapt content to lean into what players are
What the
organically
fuck?
enjoying. And I'm personally very excited and optimistic about this new direction.
What?
This is a substantial change.
Dude, this is fucking mental. They're removing, like, the core element of open world PvP and putting it guild v guild. What?
And we're still fine-tuning the matchmaking and reward system. So look forward to February when we'll share more detailed information.
Fucking hell.
Now I'd like to talk about a few topics that I've seen a lot of speculation about in the community and address them directly, starting with Tier 2 gear. Players will be able to begin acquiring Tier 2 gear at the time Talondre is released.
Yes.
And when that Tier 2 gear does arrive,
When?
players will be able to upgrade them all the way to plus 12 from the onset. The ability to increase gear to plus 12 will also apply to Tier 1 Arc Boss weapons.
Yeah.
And yes, these weapons will also be buffed to match the power of Tier 2 weapons.
Oi!
The other speculative topic I want to cover is the new weapon mastery system that many of you have probably heard about from the Korean service.
Yes.
I've seen plenty of guesses for when it will arrive to our service, so I will tell you now
There's no
it
inter-
will also arrive
There's... Oh.
to Talondre.
Oh. Everything's arriving with Talondre, and they've given us no date on Talondre yet. Hello, MP9. Sounds like a downhill move solo. It's a tough one, isn't it? It's guilds like Sin. It's guilds like... I think Disaster have also hurt another server as well. Guilds like Asta are now hurting this current server. That you have to change your mindset about fighting them.
Streamlab says Danneh stream is powered from Starlink. Here is a live satellite map. H3 and Ty_Kanji says does he not do asterisk?
Dude, if they fucking remove open world PvP bosses from the game, in my personal opinion, you are removing the life, like you say, you're removing the life from the open world elements on the game. I think it's gonna. I think they're trying to combat. They're trying to make the game feel good for every kind of guild, right? If you're a 20-man guild, the plan is they try and matchmake you with another 20-man guild. Whereas at the moment you have to go and force your way into a 500-man battle. The benefit of that is you're going to see more people geared up quicker, which I think is a big problem in the game. So that's a good thing. But good lord.
Let's talk about Talondre. I know you must be wondering, when is Talondre coming?
Yes.
Or maybe even, what is Talondre?
No, when?
Make sure to tune in to Godspeed's next episode.
Oh, come on!
On January 28th for the big reveal.
Tico!
You and me. I wonder if she's going to drop any other information about upcoming content.
Just a fucking date. Give us a date!
Okay, we just covered a lot, but that's not everything we're working on. Let me highlight some other key improvements in development. First, we're implementing changes to situations that can lead to toxicity, especially in co-op dungeons. We're also tackling key quality of life improvements, like streamlining inventory management for both regular items and runes. And along those same lines, we're analyzing the game's materials and working to reduce the current material overload that many of you have experienced. And finally, something I know many of you will appreciate. We're expanding the ways you can approach gear progression. While PvE content is the current primary path for progression, we want to give you more flexibility to progress through the content you enjoy most, whether that's PvE, PvP, or a mix of both. We're still iterating on the finer points of all of these efforts and their release timing, but I promise to share more information as we make progress. Now, I want to talk about some promises we've made to you in previous discussions.
There's not too much info out there right now, is there? I think the boys have posted some bits on the Discord, which we'll have a look in a second. The issue is the player base is declining, right? As it would naturally happen. And the people that are left, you know, we're so vocal, everyone's so vocal these days about what they particularly want, that they are trying to cater for the current audience again. And this is what happened with New World. If you cater too much for the people to just cry so fucking much, you end up fucking your game. Imagine the amount of effort that's going to have to go into the game to take open world bosses and turn them into GVG matchmaking fights. Like, what the fuck? Do you? I love Inverness, man. Here we are. Inverness off to our left. Crew, no, we're in Scotland, mate. It's mad. It's mad. It's just like, what are they doing? They needed to leave the open world bosses alone and then introduce some matchmaking bosses as well. Not destroy the content that's made Throne Liberty fun. That's a real fucking shame.
Back in October, I mentioned we were working on new UI elements to show contextual information about guild contributions during conflict mode bosses. That change is arriving in just a few days on January 23rd.
Okay.
For console players, in November I promised mouse and keyboard support, and we are now targeting to deliver this feature on February 6th. In my recent holiday letter in December, I acknowledged your feedback about daily activities feeling overwhelming.
Yes.
Let me share some initial steps we're taking to address this.
Remove them.
January 23rd, you'll be able to open normal end of dungeon chests even when doing dimensional trials.
Yes.
And on February 13th, we're adding the ability to open multiple chests within a single dungeon run.
Yes.
This change will be initially applied to 1-star dungeons.
Yes.
On improvements for contracts and abyss dungeons.
Speedrun
Dungeons
PvE.
specifically, our focus is less on reducing time spent inside of the dungeons and more on improving the fun factor of the dungeons themselves. On January 23rd, we're adding nighttime chests to Shadow Crypt for our PvP players to compete over.
Oh.
Expecting we'll be able to share more details next month about more of the changes coming to Abyss Dungeons that impact all of our players. Let's jump over to Castle Siege time. Maintenance this week, a new Castle Siege start time of 8 p.m. will be reflected in the schedule.
8 p.m. Castle Siege.
Castle Siege on January 26th.
Crypt buff, Castle Siege time change.
And speaking of surveys, I want to remind you how seriously we take your survey feedback. As you can probably tell from today's topics, many of these changes came directly from your feedback in our survey. So please keep giving us that feedback. And thank you.
Good stuff on the PvE, because at the moment you log into the game and you see your tokens. I'm always complaining about this when I'm streaming. It's like, you see the tokens on, right? It's like, Pricey the other day was giving us shit because we weren't PvP, and I was like, mate, I've got to burn my tokens. I just have to, right? Otherwise I'm going to start falling behind on stuff. So the PvE stuff's nice, means you can focus on the PvP. So you do a couple of, they said you can open multiple chests in tier 1s to start with. So you can do one tier 1 run and hopefully do like 6 or 7 chests in one run. Boom, clear all your tokens. Oh. Crypt buff for what? No one's ever there. Mate, Crypt is busy. Crypt has like 200 to 300 people every single night time in it. It's fucking nuts. Crypt nighttime PvP is what Windswood used to be in New World. You know, you go and stand outside New World, boom. It's awesome. Yeah, so, okay, some pretty big changes. I'm just going to jump on Discord. Let me see what he says at the end.
Again, for your continued feedback across all of our platforms. If you haven't already, please help us out by leaving a review on your game's platform. We're going to continue to do our best to listen to your feedback, action that feedback, and communicate with you.
GG. Right, let's see what's going on Discord. The boys posted some stuff as well quickly. I saw copy paste. Next boss battle. Major people. While the powerful alliances have won the war within the server have continued to grow faster, the growth of the weaker factions has been limited. Some players have been able to enjoy the end content and have left the game. This is why they're doing it. People quitting the game, and they think this is why. After much liberation, we'll be reorganizing the boss battle system so that groups or individuals of various sizes can play more easily. Field arc boss system. The battle method for the field arc boss war area will be guild faction or peace mode through matchmaking. Rewards and matchmaking. We are closely reviewing the matchmaking method. Jesus Christ. Wow.
H3 and Ty_Kanji says we're this in Discord.
Yeah, I think there's been like some patch notes dropped as well. It's just like going into a bit more detail. But Talandre, no date. Mastery's coming with Talandre, so no date. Tier 2, obviously, gears come with Talandre, no date. It's buffed. All Tier 2 stuff can go straight to tier level 12, so make sure you're gathering all of your gear. Jesus Christ. It's interesting, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's what the guy was on about. It's an announcement for an announcement coming soon. There's no real info there. Oh well. Mitz, whenever you're ready, we can go find somewhere to go chill out. It's kind of interesting. Sorry guys who have no idea what we're talking about. Obviously we are big gamers, so if you're just here seeing the Vanlife content, primarily we've been gaming ever since, so.
Soloboom88 say so basically. No actual content update XD.
No, they got pressed. They got real pressed to push an update info. So they've recorded because people have been giving them some shit, I think. I love the gaming community, man. Fucking toxic bricks.
Straight to this days, you should name it Tico Yaps.
Not Tico Talks, Tico Yaps. He's a good guy, man. I met him when we did the Seattle event. Really cool. Nice guy, man. Really cool. Thing is, mate, gaming communities are hard. They're fucking hard. We're such arseholes.